How many times have you told yourself today will be different? And then by the evening, nothing changed. The project still hasn't started. The important call hasn't been made. The gym, untouched. Instead, the couch wins. Netflix wins. Excuses win. Be honest with yourself. How many times have you heard that quiet voice whisper, "I've tried before. I'm just not the type of person who succeeds"? Laziness is really fear. Maybe the problem isn't laziness. Maybe the problem is fear. Fear of failure. Fear of change. Fear of leaving the comfort of your warm blanket. And fear disguises itself in comfort, whispering, "It's safer here." But here's the truth. There is no safe place. Every day you choose comfort, you lose a day of your life. Like sand slipping through an hourglass, grain by grain, gone forever. Marcus Aurelius carried an empire on his shoulders. He faced war, plagues, rebellion. He could have made excuses. He didn't. Epictetus was a slave. He couldn't control his circumstances, but he mastered his thoughts and his reactions. Seneca lived in the cutthroat politics of Rome, yet he practiced discipline and wisdom. Every night he examined his own actions. They didn't live in ivory towers. They lived in the battlefield of life, and they chose to face reality, not run from it. So what excuse do you and I have in the age of smartphones and Netflix? You wake up with good intentions, but then one notification, one text, one episode, and the whole day slips away. Day after day, month after month. You think you're waiting for motivation, but really you're letting the most precious thing you have, time, drain away. I won't give you feel-good slogans that vanish by tomorrow morning. I want to go deeper with you, because only when you face the hard truth can you truly wake up. Today, I'm sharing 9 brutal truths with you. They will make you uncomfortable, maybe even hurt. But if you're brave enough to listen, they will change the way you live, the way you see yourself, and the way you use the time you have left. Picture yourself standing in front of the mirror tomorrow morning. The person staring back at you is you, but also the version of you that hasn't yet been unlocked. Will you see disappointment, or will you see opportunity? Stoicism reminds us we cannot control the world, but we can always control the choices we make today. Every excuse you repeat is another brick in the walls of your prison. Every small action you dare to take is a key that bends the bars. I used to be the one who wrote perfect plans and never started. I know the suffocating weight of the word tomorrow. And Stoicism pulled me out, not because it's comforting, but because it's harsh. It told me, you are not special. You are not immune to impermanence, and you do not have endless time. Pause with me for a moment. If you had only 1 year left to live, would you still keep delaying? If you knew every morning was a gift, would you waste it scrolling through your phone? We don't need a tragedy to live fully. We only need to remember time is slipping through our hands every minute. Laziness is not who you are. It's just fear wearing the mask of comfort. And one small decision today is enough to begin the change. You are the author of your story, and you only have this moment to act. If you want a life worth remembering, stop running. Start facing the brutal truths. Before you leave this video, do one thing. Write it down. Say it out loud. I refuse to waste another day. Comment it, so you remind yourself, so you remind others. And if you feel that fire rising inside, you hit subscribe. Because this journey isn't about one giant leap. It's about small, steady steps every single day. You are no longer who you were. You are becoming who you were meant to be. And that journey begins right now. How many times have you promised yourself tomorrow will be different? You buy a new notebook, you set an alarm, you write a to-do list. And then, what, 1 day, 2 days, a week? You're still in the same place. So tell me, is laziness really the problem? Or is there something deeper holding you back? Law number 1, the brutal truth. Listen to me. Laziness is not the root issue. The real problem is this. You haven't fully taken ownership of your life. Yes, it sounds harsh, but this truth will set you free. You are the author of your story, not your parents, not your boss, not your circumstances, only you. Think about Epictetus. He was a slave. He couldn't choose where he lived. He couldn't choose his work. He couldn't even choose his meals. But he realized, no one can control my thoughts, my values, or my reactions. If a man with no physical freedom could still find freedom in his mind, what about you? The truth is, laziness only survives when you feed it excuses. Every time you blame the weather, your job, or other people, you hand over control of your life to the outside world. And laziness laughs. Perfect. Now you've got a reason to do nothing. So try this. Stand in front of a mirror and say, "Today I chose this." You'll notice something strange. Laziness starts to vanish because it has nowhere left to hide. You don't need a grand, life-changing plan. You just need small choices repeated daily. Do you hit snooze 5 times or get up right away? Do you scroll for 2 hours or use 30 minutes to read 10 pages? Do you complain I don't have time? Or do you ask, how can I use these 10 minutes best? Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome. He led armies. He fought disease. He carried an empire. And still, he found time to write philosophy. Do you think he had extra hours lying around? No. He simply owned every moment he was given. Imagine your life as a book. If today is one page, who is holding the pen? You or your circumstances. Every time you make excuses, you hand the pen to someone else. But when you say, no matter what happens, I own how I respond, you take the pen back, and the story begins to change. Or picture yourself driving. If you let go of the wheel, your car swerves into the ditch. Ownership is gripping the wheel again. Now you might be thinking, but you don't understand. My situation is different. You're right. I don't know every detail of your life, but I do know this. If you keep seeing yourself as a victim, you'll remain one. Ownership doesn't promise life will be fair. It promises you'll regain the power to change how you live. So here's my challenge to you. For the next 24 hours, take responsibility for everything. Your mood, your work, your results. No excuses, no if only, no because of them, just you. And when it feels tough, remember Epictetus. No one can harm you without your permission. The law of ownership, total responsibility, is the first foundation to destroy laziness. When you claim full responsibility, laziness loses its shelter. When you own each small choice, you start rewriting the story of your life. You can't buy back yesterday. You only have today. Every hour you spend blaming is an hour you surrender your power. So right now, write it down. Say it out loud. Or comment below, I am the author of my story. I am responsible for everything. This isn't just a statement. It's a commitment. If you're serious about change, start by owning every choice, every action today. And if this message speaks to you, hit subscribe. because there are 8 more brutal truths waiting for you. Truths that will break procrastination, crush laziness, and unlock your true potential. Remember this: don't let laziness write the book of your life. Take the pen and start today. Law number 2, identity transformation. Have you ever felt like you're replaying the same play, just with a different backdrop? A new plan, a new app, a shiny new notebook. But the lead actor is still the same old you. Lose weight, you quit halfway. Save money, you slip up. Wake up early, snooze button wins. The problem isn't the plan. The problem is the costume you're wearing, the identity you've chosen. You can't solve a problem with the same identity that created it. If you want new results, you have to become a new person. It sounds huge, but it starts small. Open your closet. You've got a shirt labeled The Quitter, another one that says Not a Morning Person, another I'm Bad with Money. Every time you put them on, you step back on stage in the same role, and the play repeats itself. The good news: you can change clothes. You don't have to throw out the whole closet. Just wear something different today. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius was born an emperor, but he chose to play the role of a philosopher. He didn't wait until he felt wise to act wisely. He acted first. The feelings followed. Identity doesn't fall from the sky. Identity is forged by repeated action. Think of every action as a vote. You walk for 10 minutes. That's 1 vote for healthy person. You transfer $20 into your emergency fund, 1 vote for financially responsible. You turn off Netflix at 10 p.m. 1 vote for someone who values sleep. You don't need 100% today. You just need more votes in the right direction. So let me ask you, how long will you keep wearing the shirt that says The Quitter? What identity do you want your kids or the people you love to see in you? Let's be real. Life in America is busy. Endless emails, back-to-back meetings, bills piling up. But that's exactly why identity matters. When you're tired, you don't rise to your goals. You fall back to your identity. If you've defined yourself as someone who keeps promises to myself, you'll get up when the alarm rings, even if it's freezing outside. If you've defined yourself as someone who values health, you'll grab the meal-prepped box from the fridge even when pizza calls your name. I used to wear the shirt that said easily discouraged. I'd open my laptop, see 10 tabs, and shut it down. I had labeled myself, and I lived out that label. Until one day I asked if I were persistent, what would I do in the next 5 minutes? The answer was simple. Sit down. Write for 5 more minutes. The next day, I did it again. Vote. 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 And one morning, I realized I had become persistent. Let me give you another picture, the identity bridge. Every time you keep a small promise, you lay down a brick. Week 1, it doesn't look like a bridge. Week 4, the shape appears. By month 3, you're walking across to the other side without even noticing. That's Stoicism. Virtue in action. Not flashy, not loud. Just doing the right thing over and over until you become the right kind of person. Here's your 24-hour challenge. Change your shirt now. For the next 24 hours in every situation, ask, what would the person I want to become do right now, and then do it just for 60 seconds. Walk fast for 60 seconds. Write for 60 seconds. Pack a healthy meal for 60 seconds. Every 60 seconds is a vote. Every 60 seconds is you turning the key in the lock of identity. Your identity is not a life sentence. It's the story you keep telling yourself with your actions. Every day you procrastinate, you reinforce the old story. Every small act you take, you write a new one. Don't wait for someday. There is no someday on the calendar. There is only today and you. So right now, write it down, say it out loud, or comment, "I am becoming a better version of myself, one action at a time." Say it. Write it. Let your mind hear it. Let your body act on it. And if this message speaks to you, hit subscribe. Because this is only Law Number 2. There are more brutal truths, weighting truths that will shatter procrastination, crush laziness, and help you build the person you were born to be. Remember, you don't need to find yourself. You need to build yourself with the actions you choose today. Law Number 3, present action. Do you know where the graveyard of dreams is? It's filled with promises like, tomorrow I'll start, Monday I'll change, when things settle down I'll do it. But tomorrow never comes. Monday slips away, and things are never perfect, and you stay in the same place. Do you see it? This is laziness at its sweetest, bargaining with time. It whispers, "We'll do it later." But later is where dreams go to die. The harsh truth is this: the only moment you can change your life is not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, not when life is perfect. The only moment is right now. Think of Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome. He ruled an empire, fought plagues, faced wars and rebellions. Do you think he had free days, waiting for motivation? No. He wrote his meditations in war tents, with the clash of swords outside, in the middle of crisis. He didn't wait for perfect conditions. He seized every moment he had. If an emperor could carve out time for philosophy in the chaos of war, you and I can find a few minutes to start what matters. Imagine you have a bank account. Every morning you're given 24 hours. You can't save them. You can't borrow more. If you don't spend them, they vanish forever. So how will you use those hours? Will you invest them in your dreams, or let Netflix emails and endless scrolling drain them away? The Stoics called it "Pruse constant attention to the present," because the mind loves to wander. It drifts back to the past, heavy with regret. It races into the future, filled with anxiety. And while you're lost in yesterday or tomorrow, the only moment with real power, the present, quietly disappears. I used to be a master of, "I'll do it tomorrow." I had drawers full of plans and very little action. Until I realized this action creates motivation, not the other way around. When I sat down and wrote one page, inspiration came. When I walked for 10 minutes, energy followed. It's not motivation that leads to action. It's action that unlocks motivation. So think about what you're delaying. Writing that book, making that phone call, starting that workout. Every day you wait, you drift farther from it. Every small act you take right now, you move closer. Which direction are you going? 5 years from now, what do you want to see? A list of should-have-dones or a trail of small steps that carried you to your goal? So here's the challenge. Right now, not after this video, not tonight, do one thing you've been putting off. Just one. Write that email. Clean one corner of your room. Take a 5-minute walk. Don't think. Don't wait. Don't bargain with time. Do it now. The only time you have is the present. Every choice either moves you closer to your dream or pulls you away. There is no neutral. There is no later. Today will never return. Every minute you waste in procrastination is a minute stolen from the better version of yourself. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, Do not live as if you had 1,000 years. You don't. I don't. So right now, write it, comment it, or say it out loud. I act in the present moment. Let that sentence remind you, life doesn't change tomorrow. It changes in this moment. And if this message wakes something up inside, you hit subscribe. Because this is only law number 3. More brutal truths are waiting. Truths that will crush procrastination and push you into the life you were meant to live. Remember, you don't need to wait to become a new person. You just need to act right now. Law number 4, momentum. Physics. Picture this. Your car stalls halfway up the driveway. That first push feels like moving a mountain. But the moment the wheels roll half a turn, it gets lighter. Momentum takes over. Your life works the same way. It's not that you lack motivation. It's that you haven't started rolling. How many times have you sworn you'd change, only to watch the fire fade in a few days? You want the gym. You want to read. You want to launch that project. But you freeze staring at the mountain, whispering, "Where do I even start?" The hardest part is not the middle. It's not the finish line. The hardest part is the very first push. Back to that car. Those first seconds are brutal. You sweat. You strain. Then the wheel nudges forward. And once it moves, inertia fights for you, not against you. The Stoics knew this. Seneca reminded us progress comes little by little, not overnight, not in one dramatic leap, but in small steps repeated long enough to matter. So why do most people fail? Because they swing too big too fast. They promise 60 minutes at the gym every day, 50 pages of reading, cleaning the entire house in one go. They last 2 days. They collapse. They quit. Then they conclude, "I'm just lazy." No, you're not lazy. You just picked the wrong strategy. Here's the harsh truth. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. If you wait for inspiration, you'll wait forever. But when you act, even small motivation follows. So make it tiny. So tiny. You can't make an excuse. Want to exercise? Put on shoes. Walk 5 minutes around the block. Want to write just one sentence. Want to clean one drawer. Want to save transfer $20. Small enough your brain doesn't feel threatened. Small enough you start now. Think of a snowball rolling downhill. At first it's just a handful of snow, but each turn it grows bigger, heavier, harder to stop. That's momentum. Today you walk 5 minutes. Tomorrow 8. Next week you lace your shoes before dinner. A month later people say you're so disciplined, but you know the truth. You just kept the snowball rolling, and momentum spreads. You work out, you sleep better. You sleep better, you focus sharper. You focus sharper, you perform better at work. It's a chain reaction of progress. But yes, momentum has a dark side too. Skip today, it's easier to skip tomorrow. Miss 2 workouts. The third feels like moving stone. So ask yourself, will your life be powered by the momentum of action or dragged by the inertia of procrastination? I used to get stuck chasing massive change. 20 tasks on a list, goals the size of mountains. I burned out. I quit until I changed the strategy. 1 paragraph in the morning, then 2. A year later, I had a draft of a book. Not because I was a genius, but because I kept the wheel turning. Try this image, the baggage carousel at an airport. You place the first bag on, and like magic, the rest follow the belt. Work is like that. The first task is the keystone. Put it on the belt, the rest becomes easier. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, pick one small action. Just one. Do it every day. Ideas. 10 minutes of exercise. 1 page of reading. 1 short journal entry. 5 minutes cleaning 1 corner. Set a fixed time. Prepare the starting point shoes by the door book on the desk file open on the screen. Track your starts, not your wishes. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to keep the wheel rolling. And here's a micro start you can do in 60 seconds right after this video. Stand up. Pour a glass of water. Put on your workout shirt. Write 1 sentence. That's half a turn of the wheel, and half a turn is all you need. Starting is the hardest part, but once you move, momentum is yours. Don't hunt for motivation. Create it with small, repeated action. Tomorrow won't give you momentum. Only today will. Every time you start, you beat laziness. Every time you delay, you fuel it. So right now, write it down, say it out loud, or drop it in the comments. I create momentum with small actions today. Let that sentence pull you off the couch. Let your body move first and watch motivation chase after. If this message hits home, subscribe, because more brutal laws are coming, laws that will break procrastination, help you conquer laziness, and unlock the life you were meant to live. Remember, every great machine starts with 1 ignition, and your ignition is right now. Law number 5. Face what you avoid. Be honest. What are you avoiding right now? A tough phone call, a workout you promised yourself, or a truth about who you are, one you don't want to face. Here's the twist. The very things you fear are the weights in life's gym. And only when you lift them do you grow stronger. We grew up believing a good life should feel easy, comfortable. But the truth, comfort is the trap. Laziness isn't weakness. It's your brain's defense system. It pulls you away from discomfort, away from the risk of failure. And in doing so, it locks you inside a comfort zone. Sounds pleasant, but in reality, it's a prison. Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome, yet he chose hardship on purpose. He ate plain food, slept on the floor, endured the cold. Why? Because he knew if you only live in comfort, you become a slave to it. Step into discomfort and you remember you can survive. You are stronger than you think. Think about the gym. You want bigger muscles. You lift heavier weight. That burning, that shaking, that fatigue, it's the proof you're growing. Life is the same. Every discomfort you avoid is a weight you refuse to lift, and every weight you refuse is growth you refuse. So ask yourself, what scares you most right now? That conversation you keep dodging, that bad habit you know you need to kill, that big goal you're terrified to start because you might fail. You already know the answer. It's written inside you. That list, it's your inner GPS, and it points exactly where you need to go. Most people think, when I'm no longer scared, then I'll act. But courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is action while you're still afraid. You don't wait to feel confident. You build confidence by stepping into uncertainty 1 step at a time. I used to avoid public speaking. I feared the judgment, the mistakes, the failure, until I asked myself, if I keep running, who will I become? So I walked onto the stage, shaking, heart pounding, and the surprise reality was 10 times gentler than the horror movie in my head. Fear always exaggerates the danger, but when you face it, you realize you can handle it, and you walk away stronger. So here's your challenge. Pick one thing you've been avoiding. Doesn't have to be the biggest. Just one. Call to apologize. Write the first page of that journal. Turn off the TV and walk for 15 minutes. Do it within the next 24 hours. Because every time you step into discomfort, your comfort zone expands. And so do you. What you avoid is the key to your growth. Comfort keeps you safe. Discomfort makes you strong. No resistance, no growth. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do not run from hardship. Meet it with the character that is yours." So right now, write it down, say it out loud, or drop it in the comments. I face discomfort to grow. Let that be your commitment. And if this message struck you, hit subscribe. Because more Stoic laws are coming, laws that will crush procrastination, break the chains of laziness, and free you from a life imprisoned by comfort. Remember this: comfort will never make you grow. Only by stepping into discomfort will you find your true strength. Law number 7, internal standards. Let me ask you this. How many times have you promised yourself you'd wake up early, only to hit snooze the next morning? You swore you'd go to the gym, but quit after a week. You whispered, "It's fine. Nobody knows." But someone does know. You. And every time you break a promise to yourself, you're withdrawing the most valuable thing you have: your own self-trust. Your life isn't defined by other people's standards. It's defined by the internal standards you choose to live by. You can fool others. You can make excuses to friends, but you cannot hide from yourself. Every broken promise is a crack in the foundation of self-respect. And in those cracks, laziness grows. Picture a special bank account. Every time you keep a small promise, drinking a glass of water in the morning, writing 3 lines in your journal, you make a deposit. Every time you break a promise, 30 extra minutes of snooze. Skipping the workout, you withdraw. Wonder why your motivation feels empty, because your self-respect account is overdrafted. But when you keep those tiny promises, you start building quiet confidence. Not the loud, boastful kind. The quiet certainty, I do what I say. Marcus Aurelius, emperor philosopher, wrote in his journal every night, not for others, for himself. Seneca, wealthy, powerful, still ended his day with one question: did I live true to my values today? They knew internal standards, not outside applause, define true character. Picture a suspension bridge stretching over a canyon. Every promise kept is a cable pulled tighter. Every promise broken is a cable cut loose. Do you want to walk across a strong bridge or wobble across one you've been cutting apart? I used to be the guy who promised everything. I'll write every day. I'll sleep earlier. I'll quit social media. And I broke them. Over and over. The result, I stopped believing myself. Every plan felt doomed because deep down, I didn't trust me. Until I changed the strategy. I started small, and I kept them at all costs. A made bed. A glass of water before coffee. 3 sentences before touching my phone. Small, but each one a deposit into the self-respect bank. Each one a reminder I can trust me. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, set one small morning commitment. Just one. Make the bed. Walk 10 minutes. No social media before 9 a.m. Pick one. Keep it at all costs. 7 days later, you'll notice you respect yourself again. And where self-respect grows, laziness has no place to hide. Your life isn't built on what others expect. It's built on the standards you choose for yourself. Keeping small promises, a strong foundation. Breaking them, tearing down your own bridge. Time doesn't wait. Every day you lower your standards, you build a weaker future. Every day you raise them, you build an unshakable self. So right now, write it, say it, or drop it in the comments. I keep the promises I make to myself. Let that be the command in your mind. And if this message wakes something in you, hit subscribe. Because more Stoic laws are coming to break procrastination, crush laziness, and help you live a life worth respect. Remember this: no one else defines your value. Only you do, through the standards you choose every single day. Law number 8, reflection and iteration. Let me ask you this: how many times have you tried to change only to conclude, I failed? I'm just not capable. But here's the truth. You didn't fail. You just haven't gone through enough loops. No one gets it right the first time. No athlete is flawless in their first game. No writer creates a masterpiece in their first draft. If you demand perfection on the first try, you set yourself up for disappointment. The Stoics knew this centuries ago. Seneca wrote nightly journals reflecting on each day. Marcus Aurelius measured every action against his inner standards. Wisdom doesn't come from repeating experience blindly. It comes from reflected experience. Picture this: you're shooting arrows. You fire one shot. Wait a month to see where it lands. You'll never improve. But if after each shot you pause 10 seconds, adjust your stance, refocus, breathe, your skill skyrockets. Life works the same way. Every action is an arrow. Every reflection is you adjusting your aim. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just 5 minutes each night. Call it after action review. Write 3 lines. What went well today? What didn't? What's one small thing I'll do differently tomorrow? That's it. Not a novel. Just 3 lines. But those 3 lines, they're the rudder that keeps you on course. The common mistake: only tracking final results, weight revenue, finished projects. Results always lag behind. What you need are leading metrics, the things you can control today. How many minutes did you focus? How many training sessions did you complete? How many times did you start instead of procrastinate? When you control the rhythm, the results will follow. Think in 2 loops. Daily micro tweak 1%. Shift a detail, start time, workspace, focus length. Weekly 20-minute retrospective. Write down 3 things. Keep what worked. Keep it. Start what's worth trying. Add it. Stop what drags you down. Cut it. Then pick one principle for the week ahead. Not a full life overhaul. Just tightening the loop. Let's make it practical. Email overwhelming. Don't promise inbox 0 tomorrow. Do an AAR. How many times did I check today? Tomorrow set 2 check windows. Sleep off track, AAR. What time did I shut screens last night? Tomorrow power down at 10 p.m. Finances messy, AAR. Where did I spend impulsively this week? Next paycheck, auto transfer, $20 to savings. How many more days will you drift without checking the oars? Just 1 degree off. And in weeks, you're miles away. But small adjustments every night bring the ship back to shore. I once thought I wasn't disciplined. I downloaded apps, tried dozens of methods, quit them all, until I shrank the loop. 3 lines each night, 1 adjustment the next morning, 1 weekly retro. Slowly, the small gains stacked, and I realized I wasn't lacking discipline. I was lacking a loop. So, tonight before you sleep, take 10 minutes. Write 3 AAR lines. Set a reminder to repeat for 7 days. Choose 1 thing to stop tomorrow. And here's your micro start right now. Open Notes. Type the heading AAR. Today. Write line 1. You just started your first loop. You are not a failure. You just haven't gone through enough iterations. Every day without reflection is a day you lock in stagnation. Every day with reflection is a step forward, even just 1%. Time is already short. Don't repeat the same mistakes another day. Marcus Aurelius urged, examine each action and ask, does it befit my character? Every night you ask that you steer yourself back on course. So right now, write it, say it, or drop it in the comments. I improve through the loop, not by luck. Let that be your commitment. And if this message resonates, hit subscribe. Because next comes law number 9, memento mori. The Stoic practice of death awareness so you live with urgency and meaning like never before. Remember this: progress is not magic. It's the short cycle repeated over and over, day after day. Law number 9, death awareness, memento mori. Let me ask you this: are you living as if you have endless tomorrows? You delay the important call. You shelve the dream. You waste hours on things you won't even remember tomorrow. Here's the brutal truth: you don't have endless tomorrows. You only have today. Sounds dark, doesn't it? But in reality, it's the greatest gift. Because only when you remember death is near you, finally start living for real. Marcus Aurelius, at the height of absolute power, still reminded himself each morning, today is a gift, not a guarantee. Seneca wrote, life is long if you know how to use it. The problem isn't that we lack time. The problem is that we waste the time we're given. Picture this. You're handed a mysterious hourglass. No one tells you how many grains are inside. You only watch them fall, one by one, never in reverse. That's your life. The question is, what will you spend those grains on? The Stoics didn't mention death to spread fear. They mentioned it to create urgency. When you remember your time is limited, you stop wasting it on the trivial. You dare to say the words that matter. You dare to start the project left unfinished. You dare to love deeper, live truer. I once thought I had plenty of time. I delayed writing. I delayed calling family. Then one day, a close friend died suddenly, and on my phone, there was still their last missed call, a call I can never return. Since then, every morning I ask myself, if today were my last, how would I live? And that question changed everything. Petty arguments, not worth it. Endless scrolling, a tragic waste. Tasks I kept postponing, suddenly urgent. Death awareness doesn't make you weaker, it makes you focused. Imagine holding a one-way ticket. The train of life will leave, but the ticket has no departure time. Would you still delay your dreams? Would you still waste your hours on the meaningless? Here's my challenge for you. Live today as if it were limited. Choose one meaningful act and do it now. Call someone you love and tell them you appreciate them. Shut down one source of distraction. Spend time on what truly matters. And here's your 60-second micro start. Pick up your phone. Call a friend or family member. Tell them you love them. That's one grain of sand well spent. You will die. So will I. But instead of fear, let that truth become the most powerful fuel. Every day is a one-time opportunity. Every wasted minute is an insult to the gift of life. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you could leave life right now. Let that shape what you do, say, and think. So right now, write it, say it, or comment it. I will live today as if it were finite. Let that declaration become an order for your mind. And if this message hit you, subscribe, because Stoicism isn't just about beating laziness. It's about living a life you can be proud of, so when death knocks, you can smile and say, "I lived fully." Let me ask you this. How many times have you heard a powerful speech, read a self-help book, felt fired up, only to wake up the next morning and nothing has changed? Do you realize knowledge without action isn't wisdom? It's just a clever form of procrastination. You already know, but you haven't done. And that is the gap between the old life and the new one. You can listen to dozens of podcasts, read hundreds of books, memorize every line of Marcus Aurelius, every lesson from Seneca. But if you don't apply them, you're still the same, still stuck in the same loop. Stoicism isn't meant to sit on a shelf. It's meant to be lived. Knowing without doing, it's like leaving a sharp sword to rust inside its sheath. Right now, you stand at a crossroads. One road takes you back to the familiar comfort where laziness, excuses, and delay still rule. The other road, it leads to the harder but worthy path where you apply each Stoic law, where you become the stronger version of yourself. So the question is, which road will you choose? Why? Now. You may think I'll start tomorrow, but you already know tomorrow is the sweetest lie of procrastination. You don't need another day to think. You need action right now. Every minute you hesitate, you dig the old habit deeper. Every minute you act, you plant the seed of something new. Picture a door in front of you. On the other side, the version of you you've always wanted, disciplined, confident, clear on purpose. You already hold the key. The 9 Stoic laws. But the door will never open if you don't turn the key. Action is the turn. Without it, the door stays shut. I once fell into the trap of knowing but not doing. I read book after book, took notes, listened to podcasts, but my life didn't change because I hadn't begun. Only when I forced myself into action, one page written one morning, alarm honored, one small promise kept, did I discover the real power. Stoicism isn't theory on paper. It's philosophy in action. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Don't live as if you had endless time. Death is always near. Let that shape what you do, say, and think." Seneca reminded us, life is long if you know how to use it. They didn't just speak, they lived it. That's why their words outlast empires. So here's my final challenge for you. Pick one action-specific concrete and do it right after this video ends. Make the call you've been avoiding. Write down one commitment, then honor it. Or simply stand up, clear your desk, reset mission control for your life. Do not hit next video until you do. Because your journey doesn't begin when you hear, it begins when you do. The 9 Stoic laws aren't meant to be understood. They're meant to be lived. Knowledge without action. Procrastination wearing a disguise. You have a choice. Go back to the old life or step into real transformation. Time is limited. You can't buy back yesterday. You only have today. And today is the decision point. Right now, write it, say it, or comment it. I am no longer who I was. I am becoming who I'm meant to be. Let that declaration be your final commitment. And if you're ready to keep walking this path, subscribe. Because this is not the end. It's only the beginning. Remember this. You are no longer the old you. You are becoming the person you were born to be. And that journey begins right now.